Welcome to the Gospel Road. We're going to look at Psalms 107. And it says, "Oh, give thanks to God, for he is good. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he has redeemed from trouble, and gathered in from the lands from the east and from the west, from the north and from the south. Some wandered in desert wastes, finding no way to a city to dwell in. Hungry and thirsty, their soul fainted within them. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He led them by a straight way till they reached a city to dwell in. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. For he satisfies the longing soul, and the hungry soul he fills with good things. Some sat in darkness and in the shadow of death, prisoners in afflictions and in irons, for they had rebelled against the words of God and spurned the counsel of the Most High. So he bowed their heads down with hard labor. They fell down with none to help. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death, and burst their bonds apart. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. For he shatters the doors of bronze and cuts into the bars of iron. Some were fools through their sinful ways, and because of their iniquities suffered affliction. They loathed any kind of food, and they drew near to the gates of death. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distresses. He sent out his word and healed them, and delivered them from their destruction. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. And let them offer sacrifices of thanksgiving, and tell of his deeds in his songs of joy. Some went down to the sea in ships, doing business on the great waters. They saw the deeds of the Lord, his wondrous works in the deep. For he commanded and raised the stormy wind, which lifted up the waves of the sea. They mounted up to heaven. They wandered down to the depths. Their courage melted away in their evil plight. They reeled and staggered like drunken men, and were at their wits' end. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He made the storm be still, and the waves of the sea be hushed. Then they were glad that the waters were quiet, and he brought them to the desired heaven. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works for the children of man. Let them extol him in the congregation of the people, and praise him in the assembly of the elders. He turns rivers into deserts, springs of water into thirsty ground, fruitful land into salty waste because of the evil of the inhabitants. He turns a desert into pools of water, and parched land into springs of water. And there he lets the hungry dwell, and they establish a city to live in. They sow fields and plant vineyards and get a fruitful yield. But his blessings they multiply greatly, and he does not let their livestock diminish. When they are diminished and brought low through oppression, evil and sorrow, he pours contempt on princes and makes them wander in trackless wastes. But he raises up the need out of the affliction and makes their families like flock. The upright see it and are glad, and all the wickedness shuts in its mouth. Whoever is wise, let him attend to these things. Let them consider the steadfast love of the Lord." Psalm 107. And David writing again, thanks be to God and his steadfast love, how it endures forever. And now that no matter what people have done, how many times that they do something and get in trouble, he comes back. I mean, we talked about this in the prior podcast in Psalm 106 of how Israel would keep doing things and they would keep falling, but then God would keep saving them and bringing them out. It talks about the same thing here, about how people keep falling and falling into the trouble, but he's there to help them from that distress. He's there to support them. He's there to encourage them. He's there to build them up. He's there to help them become better. At the same time, I mean, we've talked about before how, God even got frustrated with Israel and he walked away from them. But even though he walked away from them, he still helped them. Really, when you think about this, when you're reading these different stories, how is it that we are treating people? What is it that you're doing for the person that you know next to you? A coworker, your neighbor, a family member. How are you helping them whenever they get into trouble? Are you there? Or are you just turning your back and saying, you know what, you just keep doing the same thing. It's your problem, it's not mine. Just leave me out of it. How are you dealing with them and helping them through that situation? Again, there's going to be a time that you're going to have to kind of wash your hands, but even though you wash your hands, do you really step away from them 100%? You can still help them a little, but not to a huge degree. You're still trying to encourage them. You're still trying to build them up. You're still trying to get them to understand how important they are and who they are and how they need to respect themselves so they're able to become a better person. Or do you just walk away and say, I'm done. Wash my hands of you. Forget it. You're just out of my life. Can't deal with you. You are just dead to me. A lot of people do that. And I'll be honest, I've said the same thing. I've encouraged the same thing. I don't say that I agree with that, though. Because, again, we need to be here for one another. And we need to help each other. And it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It doesn't matter what your background is. We're here to help people be better. Now, it's a two-way street. I mean, if you're trying to help someone and someone's is not, doing what they're supposed to be, a little accountability needs to be held to them and say, look, either you're going to do this or you're not. But you still need to, even if you step away, still keep giving that positive influence. Still keep giving those positive words. Still showing them that you care. Still showing them that you love them. It's the unconditional love that they talk about in 1 Corinthians 13. It doesn't matter what it is, I will always love you. I will always care. Now, there's going to be times that I can care and love you, but I can't always just jump and run every time you pick up the phone. I've got a life. I've got to take care of me. You need to learn how to stand on your feet and to take care of a situation on your own as well. I've had to do it. Is it easy? Absolutely not. And sometimes when I'm doing that, I'm trying to find someone to help me and there's just no one there and I'm just lost. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And I feel lonely. But do I give up or do I keep pressing forward? That's a decision that I have to make personally. Now, a lot of that on how easy that decision is going to be for me is the support that I have of those around me. The same as someone else needing to make that decision. Am I showing them God's love? Am I treating them the way God would treat them? Am I treating them the way Jesus would treat them? I mean, I've been hearing this a lot lately that sometimes the only Jesus people see is the Jesus in you, the Jesus in me. And that's about love, loving your neighbor, helping your neighbor, being there for your neighbor, not making them feel that they're just all out there all alone and no one's there to give them any support. Someone needs help at work. Are you going to help them? Yeah, it might get annoying after a while because they keep asking you how to do the same thing over and over and over again. They can't just seem to get it to stick in their head. But are you going to try and maybe help them? Maybe you're even going to try and help them because, you keep having issues with this. You're not able to remember. How can we help you make this stick? What's there a way, a process that you're able to remember how to do this? Again, it's making people better, making people stronger, helping them be better in life, helping them be better individuals. Personally, professionally, as they're building to be stronger and better for them, they're being better for their family and for their friends, for their job, for their company. See, it's us to have that, to help them through. People are wanting to learn more. Are we willing to teach them what they're wanting to learn to help them be better at what it is that they want to do? Yeah, some are foolish. It talks about it in Psalms 107 here, that they're foolish and they're in foolish ways and they just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Well, at some point they're going to have to answer for that. You still need to love them. You still need to help them, encourage them. They're going to have to answer for it. See, you're helping them personally. You're not encouraging their actions. That's kind of stupid what you're doing. But we know you can be a better person. We know you're better than that. We know that you're stronger. We know that you have a talent that you're not allowing out. A talent that you're not using it to its full potential. How can you get that talent out of them? Now, do they want that talent out of them? Thing is, if you keep encouraging them, at some point, they're going to get tired of hearing the good words from you because that's not what they want to hear, and they're going to just hit the road, Jack. Love. Faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. Love God, love your neighbor, love yourself. Love. We keep hearing that. And as I've made my way through the Bible and read Old and New Testament, the undertone, it's love. It's helping each other be a better person, be stronger, being a better worker. Are you doing that for people that you know? When a person meets you each day, are they better for meeting you? I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it. I'm saying I have my days. Oh, do I have my days? Many times. Probably every day. Some days there's probably times that someone meets me and no, they're not better off for meeting me. And that's my fault. It is. But if people keep sticking around and keep talking to me and keep wanting to know things, well, they come to find out that I'm a different person. Or I'm not who they think I am. Or they end up actually being better for knowing me. I'm not perfect. I do my best. None of us are perfect. We're all going through a journey. And the thing is, we need to be doing this journey together. Taking people along with you to help them be better. To help them be stronger. You'll do the same. Psalm 107, that's what we were looking at. And again, read this for yourself. See what it is that it says to you and puts in your life and puts in your heart. God's steadfast love, that unconditional love that we need to be sharing with one another. All of the wonderful things that are happening. Are you really doing something wonderful? If a person falls down, are you picking them up by the shoulders? Are you kicking them? Well, you need to help them. Give them a hand. Boost them up. Again, is it easy? No. And no, absolutely not. Do you want to give up? Yeah, you do. It's not just with friends, it's family. You just want to throw your hands in the air and say, I'm done. Nothing I can do for you because you're not going to do for yourself. Psalms 107. Read that today. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.